Greetings, dear precious spirit soul, divine being that you are. Acknowledge you for who you are, your seeking, the work you do on yourself. That's self-honoring. Yes. How to have an abundant life. That's the topic. How to have an abundant life. First of all, you are life. Life doesn't happen to you. This is the creation. You are life. And abundance, see, in this world, you've got plus and minus. This is a duality, rich and poor. Like said somewhere in the Bible, the poor will always be with you. That's a lie. That's not true. That's a command. That's a belief. And you want to be able to clear the slate of all of these beliefs so that you stand strong in your own knowingness and your own beingness. And I'm working at being a gardener. It's a process when you're growing food or plants to actually know what's the real secret of the abundance of that plant. It's the roots, feeding the roots. And then if we take a look at that as an allegory also for how we function, to have a beautiful life, you have to have beautiful roots. Whatever you want to be in your life, you have to have the roots of that, and the roots of that are within you, within you. And what happens is we could get so caught up in how to change the world. No, how to make this place a better place. Don't get into that. That's a racket to keep you processing the system, you see. And then you are a slave to that system that uses your divine energy to create its misery-causing realities, so-called. But that can only happen when each person has misery as their roots. And we could perceive as we observe and notice, even like in the garden, if you have toxic waste in that garden or you have too much acid in that soil, if it's not an acid-needing plant, like strawberries like a little acid, and how I got that, I dug under the pine tree, not very far, and all these layers of pine needle that had been mulched, I brought out this beautiful mulch, and I put that on the strawberries. But you start to look at how do I give the roots of the strawberries what it needs. And then I found out also when something needs magnesium sulfate, which Epsom salt's very good, is that it affects the taste. I go, whoa! So I've got this one tub, large tub, plastic, that I'm making special soil. So to really look at what do I want in my abundant garden of my life would be that which is the best, the highest quality. Now that does not mean bling. That does not mean gold crusted this and that. No. That means what is going to allow me, wherever I am, this being, to be experiencing the richness, the beauty, what would you call it? All that we are. And that comes from having good roots. And you can maybe your roots are frail, because maybe your life is frail, or looking frail, or you're feeling frail. You take a look at whatever is going on. That's the result of the roots. That means what you've been feeding yourself accepting as true and real, believing, fostering, agreeing with, complying with, doing it, and saying, well, this is the way everybody else is, and blah, blah, blah. If it's the way everybody else is, you don't go that way. That is not looking good. And that is then the way of the real seeker, is the beautiful life, magnificent, glorious. And that needs to happen, not thinking when then the world changes, when this happens, when I get rid of this, when I die, when I'm born again, when we're together, when I get rid of you, when when there's better here. Doesn't work that way, because that's always postponing your beautiful life. You are beauty. And to be you to the full, which is my theme, be you to the full. That's all that needs to happen. But not be your mind to the full. Not being your false ego, bloated nothingness to the full. Not of what we've been using to try and prove that we exist, to try and prove that we are good enough, to try and prove that, and this is all sibling rivalry. And you say the people that participate in the sibling rivalry, wanting to destroy the other, and you see that and it's there. It's because of you that my life isn't good, or it's because of you that all of this, and what you're doing is feeding. What are you feeding? What are you feeding? You know, and you look at that, when you start to detach, it doesn't mean you're not attached. You're attached to your God within. You don't detach from that's who you're attached to, is who you are. And then we're all attached at that level, and we're also detached. And then you go beyond attached and detached, because those are concepts and realities, to ultimate absolute attachment, to the absolute truth that always is and chooses and does manifest on all levels. So all we need to do is to be that hollow bamboo, that clear being through which the divine is expressing. And you are in touch. You don't wait for that. The dog and pony show, the circuses, getting all your attention. You're cheating yourself. That we use, completely absorbed in those electronics, we use it for what you need and what you want that's going to benefit you. But the real deal is you. And you're divine. And we all are part of. And that divine is our natural qualities. And our divine form, divine spiritual body, already is. Been dormant, you see. So feeding your roots. And then that's the barefoot, that when you're actually getting into nature as best you can, and being alone without all of the other electronics and such, and without the chatter and the selfies and the this, and get your feet as the roots into the earth. And then you can receive from the earth and give. So now it starts correcting things in the body. I tell you stuff about this, you see. And you want to have a healthy body, you have to have healthy roots. Well, what isn't healthy? And eating animals. That's not healthy. That's when you first start to look at that. Wait a minute. And then what does? And you start to look at the ancients who had the longest lifestyle. Vegetarians. Yeah. No killing. See, it's really interesting. What are your roots? Are they rooted in killing? And we've been rooted in this ignorance. Okay. Let's feed the roots, you see. And you feed those roots by your own roots of the body into the soil, into the beingness, into nature, listening, and your roots in your own inner self. in your meditations, your breathing. Yes, yes. And I also invite you. I'd love to have you come to retreats up here at Shasta and to work with you. And also I do my Grandmaster mentoring and do phone sessions, counseling, and working with you on your strategies. And that is a pleasure of my soul, and to be able to be there and share these videos with people. Whether they like it or not, that's their choice. It's just like, you say to people, hey, protect your children, because there's a lot of, child trafficking, and there's sex slaves, and there's awful nasty stuff's going on out there. All right, be aware. Don't close your eyes to it. And then you're also conscious always of where you are and what's going on. And it's the same as you can love everyone, but you don't invite everyone to live at your house. No. And you can love everyone, but you don't have to take on their culture, their consciousness, their attitudes of any kind, or agree with that. You are a powerful being. What are you agreeing with? That's creating your roots. And the stronger your roots in the divine, in every way, then the more magnificent and beautiful your life is. That means you are, you see, this is it. This is not it. You are it. You're beyond it, you say. And it's the divine. How to have an abundant life is to live in the abundance. Give up the trance dance. It's called transcend that dance. And that every then step is a dance, and every word is a song. So, well, that's not realistic. Well, in my reality, it is. You choose.